hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Married or Something podcast. My name is Sariah,
And my name is Lee.
and we are the Scots. It has been a long time since we have been able to do an episode, so Happy New Year.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Right, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We did Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did
already
Thanksgiving.
said that. So,
Yep.
yeah, so we have been. So let's talk about where we've been. So we did the Thanksgiving episode, and then I got that posted literally as we were on our way to the first half of our Christmas vacation,
Yep. Yes, you did.
which was we did a family cruise this year, which was different,
Very different.
than what we usually do for Christmas. But it was really fun.
It was fun. Both our families went, so it was great.
Yeah.
So we got to see people that we normally don't see. Uncle Herschel, Aunt Sharon,
Yeah.
the TTs, as Devon liked to call them.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And then your whole side of the family, the Scott side,
mhm.
and then your mom's side of the family too came. And so it was a lot of people, but it was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah.
was. So looking forward to doing it. I think it's on the books that we do it again. So we will, you know, sell whatever blood we gotta sell.
Okay, we're not
To
selling blood.
go ahead and
All right.
and pay for this again, because it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
But it was fun. It was worth it. So we did that for a week. We came back for a day. And then we went to Disney World for a week, which Disney World is our usual Christmas plans.
Yeah.
But to be gone for 2 weeks was a lot.
it was a lot. I didn't mind the time that we spent away. 2 weeks away, it's not bad. I think knowing like that's what it is, I think we can prepare better for it. Just because now we know what it is. And
Yeah.
also that day that we came in between, that right there, it was, we maximized it. We did maximize it. I thought it was very relaxing, very, good. But if we can just do them back to back, that probably be the best thing. But
And
yeah,
surprisingly, having two small children away from home, away from their like normal routines and normal environment, like they surprisingly did really, really well. Like we didn't have huge meltdowns. We didn't have like overly fussy baby. Like,
well, it didn't surprise me. I knew that they was gonna be fine.
really? Hey, listen, I didn't know what to expect.
They was gonna be fine. I knew that.
But I think it helped because we had grandparents there, uncles there, aunties there.
We
so
didn't really
it's
see
like,
our babies for real.
we didn't.
No,
we was like, oh, you want to go spend the night with your Gammy? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey,
Here's her clothes and
right.
the toothbrush.
Like,
Oh, you want to take them to dinner? No
go
problem.
ahead. Take them.
Here's the stroller.
Take them. Here's his bottle.
Right. Here's his bag. These are the diapers.
Right.
Going on. Right. So that was cool.
Yep.
That was cool. So, on our first episode back, we are going to talk about things that change you in a marriage. And the reason why this topic, I guess, came up is because a couple of weeks ago, I sang at a marriage retreat.
Yes, you did.
I did. And Pastor Mark, who is the pastor of
Matthias Lot.
There you go, Matthias Lot Church. I think they're located in St. Charles, O'Fallon, Missouri, something like that. But anyways, it was their church that was hosting the marriage conference. He was up speaking, and this was the topic that he was talking about. And he gave a list of things that change you in a marriage. And so I'm just going to give the list, and then we can talk about each one.
Okay.
So rundown of the list is circumstances, physical changes, motivational changes, personality, relationships, beliefs, responses, and preferences. So let's start with circumstance. So he says he defines circumstances as like lament things that were hurtful and disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So can you remember any circumstances that like were hurtful, disappointing that you had to lament over while we were well during our marriage?
Um, things that were hurtful. Um, of course, I think we've talked about this before. I don't remember if it was on this podcast or not, but um, those things. I think while you were dealing with postpartum, um, those were hurtful. Um, and again, unintentionally hurtful, but they were still hurtful. Like they still stung. Like they were haymakers.
Mm-hmm.
So, did I have to lament them? Um, well, yeah, probably if I was healthy, but I don't think I was healthy at that point. I
Mm.
think I was just, I don't know, I was in a daze, uh, trying to get to the next thing, doing what I believed to be the right thing to do, um, but without any of the motivation or the enthusiasm for it. Just you know, going through going through the emotions of being a good husband.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I think that probably if I was healthy, I would have lamented it, but during that time, it was all right.
Right. Just on to the
On
next.
to the
Let's just
next.
survive.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't get lickbacks in a marriage.
Right.
Like, it's not like I could do something
I mean,
to,
you could, but that's not healthy.
well, it's not the right thing to do.
Right.
Right.
It's not healthy. It's not
It's
the right thing to
not the
do.
right thing to do. So I can't
Right.
just do something. It's like, oh, well, she hurt me this way. So I'm going to
I'm
hurt
gonna do
her
this.
this
Right.
way. Like, who thinks like that? You
Right.
know,
Immature.
a-holes, probably.
Ali,
What?
I mean, thank you for censoring, but my
Right.
God.
We're a family show. We don't, I'm not going to say the actual word.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah. But no, like, people that think like that most likely are not, um, are not truly in the spirit of cooperation when it comes to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so so yeah, I couldn't retaliate, respond. I just had to keep going.
Yeah.
And again, those are certain things that are part of that just kept it stayed with me for a long time until we could broach the topic and you be in a place where you could receive um, my perspective and it not be weaponized against me,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the fear that a lot of guys have. Just like, hey, if I bring up something that hurt me, like,
Right.
will you
Right.
use this against me? Will you
Right.
use this against me? Like, because, ladies have an extraordinary talent with that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if a man is vulnerable, um, in his moment of vulnerability, you might not use it then, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, couple days later, you
Mm-hmm.
get upset because the trash ain't taken out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, and that's why. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Like I said that to try and heal, and now it's being used to hurt again.
Right.
So I'll just take this lesson and clam up and never say anything again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the natural dispensation is for a man, because I truly believe that of the two creatures, I think women are the strongest emotionally. Um, I think both genders experience extreme extreme amounts of emotion, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that men regulate well
Right.
emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, with with events that harm me emotionally, knowing that I don't regulate well, it is healthy for me to be able to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the person assigned to me that she does regulate well. You should talk about it with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you feel like she's not a safe space, like if I say this, I'm gonna get it back at some point in time. Well, then you're training yourself on healthy methods of um, coping,
Right.
and then once you've trained yourself on unhealthy ways of coping, and then you get later down the road and you're trying to figure out why, things aren't what they used to be, and you're not attracted to her, and you're not, um, you guys don't rock on the spiritual level anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, what do they say on the thing? Irreconcilable differences. Yeah, like that's what they say on the divorce form. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it just stems from uh, unhealthy methods of coping with trauma.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point of, are you safe?
yeah, it's a good.
It's
Yeah.
like, I want to lament. I want to grieve. I want to, express to you how much I'm hurting or how much I was disappointed by this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't feel like you're safe, then
Right.
then that leads to unhealthy coping.
Right.
Which,
And men are bad at that, but some women are bad at that too. Like bad at
being safe spaces, or
well, not only that, but clamming up when you feel like your spouse is not a safe space, right?
right.
Like your natural recourse is to, all right, I'm gonna shut down.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
while that works when you're single, it doesn't work in a marriage.
Right.
Because
when you're single, it's like, okay, if I clam up, that means I'm just stop responding to your text messages.
exactly,
We don't live together.
We don't live together. We don't.
Right.
We don't parent together.
Yeah.
We don't.
So it is what it is.
We don't sleep in the same bed. We don't sleep in the same house.
Right.
Like you can actually have a space of respite,
Yeah.
but you can't hide from a spouse.
Right.
Like you got to see that person. Like that person is literally in control of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just ignore them and blow them off. Like, hey, well, I'm just gonna stop talking to them. Like, that works when you're 5.
Yeah.
But you're an adult, and adults all the time, while you may be hurting, you still have a responsibility to that spouse.
Right.
You still have a responsibility. Hey, if she makes you mad, I'm talking to the husbands, right? If she makes you mad, yet she still needs you for something, like her tire blows out in the middle of the highway,
right?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Show up?
It's just like
because she made you
right,
mad.
Exactly. What's like? Oh well,
like that's not an option.
I'm like
or I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna be mad.
To her.
Right. I'm gonna be mad.
How do you not talk to me,
right.
sir?
Right.
I'm on the side of the road crying. And
I'm gonna be mad.
You just gonna show up with AAA?
Exactly.
And not talk to me.
AAA just be like you just gonna talk to AAA the whole time.
Right.
Not even going to acknowledge the presence of this woman right here.
Or the fact that she could have swerved and hit another car, ran into a ditch.
Right. Like you cannot do that in a marriage. Right. Okay, let's bring it all full circle. He make you mad, ladies. He make you mad, upset for whatever reason, but he needs you at the end of the day for something.
To find something in the house.
Hey, where's?
Because you never know where anything is.
Right here. Hey, where's the remote? Where's the pots and pans?
Right.
Like where?
Do we have any? Paper towels?
Right. I don't know where anything is in this house. Like this house of horrors. Like, yeah, like that. You can't play petty in a marriage. Right. Like you have to come with the mindset of serving. Thinking in terms of the other person instead of yourself. That's what you call to.
Right.
So. Yeah, you don't get to be upset. You don't get to be mad. You don't get to be in your feelings, all that type of stuff. Yes, you can be emotional, but the way to deal with it is through your spouse, not around them. Not around them at all.
Yeah, have the hard conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let them know, like, hey, you hurt me when you said da 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 da.
Right.
You hurt me when you did da 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 da. I was disappointed when you made this decision, or I was disappointed at this action, or whatever.
Right.
Have the hard conversation. But you know what I'm learning is, as I'm observing life. I'll put
As
it
you're
that way.
observing life.
As I am observing life, I'm finding that people don't want to have hard conversations.
No, they avoid it
They,
like the
you know,
plague.
and they want to, and they think it's out of love and protecting the other person because they don't want to hurt the other person. And I get that. But at the same time, if you're going to be in a marriage, you gotta have the hard conversation.
You got to. And it's more, I think people use that excuse like, I don't want to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more, you're really serving yourself in that vein. You're not serving the other person. Because in my responsibility to you is also the duty and responsibility to be honest with you.
Right.
Okay? I'm not supposed to, I can't lie to you for the sake of, you know, saying, well, this lie helps her sleep at night, or this lie helps the illusion of the relationship. That, like, no, you owe it to this person to be honest. Right? So, like, if somebody hurt you, if your spouse hurt you, or if you're hurt by another thing that's going around, it might not even be your spouse's fault. But be honest with that person.
Right. Like,
so that
I would rather be hurt by a hard conversation than be hurt later on because I was deceived.
Right. I was lied to.
Right.
Like, I was
led
me on.
Right. Hurt me in this moment. Hurt me now. So that way at least I'll have peace later on that I wasn't laying next to somebody who deceived me for years, or however long it was. Like,
right.
I feel like deception for me personally, deception hurts more than just a hard conversation.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I agree with you.
I don't
agree
don't
with
deceive
you.
me.
Like, just tell me how it is.
That's why I thank God for the spirit of intercession. And the spirit of discernment, because okay, sorry.
Just went totally
I'm sorry.
We were not talking about
I'm sorry.
We're not talking about the fruits of the spirit.
Okay.
The gifts of the spirit.
Well, okay.
So.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. Got it. Appreciate it. Let's get back on topic. Thank you.
Okay.
Can't take her no place.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing was physical changes.
Physical changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you could do that one.
And this is just talking about body changes, growing older. I thought that I was a little I thought I was a little fat.
What?
When we first got married. But baby, now that I'm on this weight loss journey, I'm like, oh Lord, I done got real big. But you know what? Well, and okay. But you know what? You ain't never switched up though.
No, and I won't.
And I appreciate that.
It's not about, like, y'all women be tripping off the wrong stuff. Like, I think I think that yes, weight sometimes, like in the extremes, like the extremes of being too big or too small, that can play a role. But for the vast majority of people that are in the middle somewhere, like, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Like, in terms of you and your attractiveness, I tell you, I like, from when I met you in 2014. Was that 2014? I think.
Yeah, we met 2014.
From when I met you in 2014 to now in 2024, you're more attractive to me now. Now, when you start doing this weight loss and, you know, getting the body that you find attractive, that's even gonna make you more attractive. It ain't about, like, your actual appearance to the world. It's your appearance to you. that makes you attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you start looking in the mirror and being like, all right, I'm that girl, like that comes off in everything.
Mm-hmm.
That confidence comes off in everything. That swagger, that self, they call it self love. I don't call it self love, but I'm like that piece of you that likes what you look
Mm-hmm.
like that makes you even more attractive. So like physical changes as you get older are inevitable.
Right. They
Right.
are.
Inevitable. So, you saying like, well, I was this and when we got married, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, but you didn't never switch up who you were personally.
Right.
Right. And your growth personally has always been on the positive spectrum. We've been progressing positively instead of negatively.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's what draws me to you. It's not no, it's not the dress size or like like run a mile, like not that doesn't like that
All
doesn't
right.
like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
So
like
I remember like when we were dating and we were talking about getting married,
hmm
like I remember thinking to myself like, Lord, what is he going to look like as
hmm
we age? Can I really be married to this man
can you
given like what he could potentially look like later on
hmm
in life? And so the person that I imagined, I was like, nah, he's still going to be cute when we get old too.
I mean
So I
I'm
was like, yeah, we can do this.
yeah I'm not I have not changed much.
No,
um
but you know what? You did gain baby weight along with me.
well, I mean that's inevitable. But again,
Yeah.
those small changes, right? Like in my mind, how I see myself,
Mhm.
like, and this happened like towards the latter part of last year, and just like
Mhm.
okay, like I look in the mirror and just like okay, I know what I want to be,
Yeah.
like what I desire to be,
Mhm.
and also I know what I want to give you, right?
Right.
So it's nothing for me to say, all right, like let's do something.
Mhm.
All right, here come Planet Fitness.
Right.
Here come.
Right. I remember we took fall photos at the end of last year, and you got the photos back, and you were like, "All right, I'm hitting the gym on Monday," and you were
Yeah,
literally in the
yeah.
gym
Oh yeah,
Monday
just make a
morning.
decision. Make a
You're just
decision
like,
and go.
"Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Why is this shirt so tight?"
make a decision and go. Right, and
Yeah.
and from that, it sparks a level of, I want to say, like it's hard, it's a discipline, but it's also rewarding because when you see the progress and you be like, hey, like, this is what I look like and this is what I look like now. It's like, okay, cool. I can see that. I can see that. And then we're just talking about physically, right?
Mm.
But some changes are not physical, like, but that's what we're talking about, physical changes, but like not just like, oh, she got bigger or he got bigger. Um, what about, you know, we haven't had this problem, but um if a guy starts developing ED, you know,
Mhm.
like
Right.
that ain't physical, but it's
Right.
a physical
That's
change.
the sickness and in health.
Right.
That's that part of the vow.
Right.
can
You
you
know,
still can you still love me? Can you still be faithful to me?
and
Even
can you
if I
go
can't
into it.
perform the way I used to or whatever.
Yeah, and can you go into it with the same spirit that you had when I wasn't dealing with it? Like, can you love
Right.
me the same?
Right.
Can you can you champion my health?
Right.
Like,
Right.
hey, I'm gonna love you even harder back to health, back to life,
Yes. Right. Right.
to where like doing the things, necessary things in order to get back to you, like it doesn't feel so much like a chore or a burden, but it feels like an opportunity, and it feels like something that I can do in order to show my spouse that like I'm just as invested now as I was back then.
Yeah.
So some of those things, again, we're not talking about physical. It's just health.
Right.
But
Just health.
and again, I'll use our thing when you did postpartum.
Right.
Like you were not the same person,
Right.
and like everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changed. Like conversation changed. Um, just expectation change. What I could expect from you on a daily basis. Like, babe, you were not doing anything besides, the small amount that you did. Um, like maybe everything with Avery was fine. You did
Mm-hmm.
everything with Avery was fine. But as far as like in the marriage, like between us,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I probably could expect uh, uh, hey baby, like coming home.
So
That's probably what all I could expect.
yeah,
That's it.
I was there. Yeah, I had nothing.
And nothing, right?
Yeah, I had nothing for you.
Exactly.
And I feel so bad about that, because honestly, in the moment, I really did not realize like how much I was not doing. Because to me, like even just the hey babe and
So
the
you better be lucky you got a hey.
not even gonna lie.
You better be lucky you got anything.
Period. Because I was so consumed with just trying to take care of Avery and trying to take care of myself. Like, I mean, I know you talk about like what I wasn't doing for you, but baby, I was barely able to take care of
Do it
myself.
right. Do it for
Like,
you.
it was like I felt like I couldn't get a shower in. I felt like I couldn't do my hair. I mean, I was just putting on whatever was clean. I mean, it was just trying to keep my head above water.
Mm-hmm.
And I know physically, just appearance wise, I wouldn't.
What are you
That
talking
that
about?
was a
Were you talking
change.
about weight? Or
No, just the way I was dressing, my hair. Like I never forget my brother. He was like, "Sariah, go get your hair done." It's just like give Lee something else to look at, and I was like,
is that what he
"Oh,
said?
okay, yes." He was. He was just like, "Sariah, go get your hair done," because it was just back in a ponytail, and he was like, "Go get it done." And I think that next week, I think I scheduled an appointment, and you were like, your hair looks nice. And I was like, oh, thank you.
I mean, it's just trying to do. But I mean, those compliments don't stop.
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
if, no
And
matter
so,
what, rain or shine.
right. And so I'm grateful for you. And I was just praying to the Lord the other day that the Lord knew exactly who I needed to be married to. Like, so I'm grateful for you because even when we were going through that, you never made me feel like, oh, he about to leave me. Oh, he about to cheat on me, or oh, he about to do this. Oh, he about to do that. Like, I never felt like you were about to walk out. Like you were
That
there.
was never an option.
That was never an option. And so I'm grateful to the Lord for that. Because if I would have married who I thought I was going to marry and who my quote unquote type was, baby, I would have been in divorce court. But we bless God. But we bless God that I got Lee.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was never an option for me.
Yeah.
And I told you this. Told you this before we got married. Just like I told you this when we got engaged. It's like when I say something, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say like, hey, like you're gonna be my wife, I meant it.
Right.
And it doesn't. Yeah, sometimes we are in unfavorable positions, and sometimes I put you in unfavorable positions. Like that's just life. Sometimes you can control it, sometimes you can't. But no matter what, I was always going to be the type to where when things got hard, when things got like tough, in the marriage, like I'm I ain't running from
Right.
I'm not running from this. Like I'm not gonna run from conflict. I'm not gonna run from disappointment. Not gonna run like yeah, like you can you can hurt me. You can hurt me to my core. You can hurt me to like 365 days out of the week, out of the year, 366 on the leap year. You can hurt me every single day, and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna beat you on the wall. Like your fists are going to get tired before like I quit. That's who I've been. Um, that's who I was. That's who I was as a kid. That's who I was as an adult. That's who God made me, and that mentality has not left me. And I bring it into my marriage even more so because this is the one thing that I feel I I have control over that brings God glory just by its existence. So like now it's not about either of us. It's about God getting the glory out of this relationship. So no matter how you wild out, like no matter what, like I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna stand right here and you gonna have we gonna have to you gonna have to see me about every little thing. No matter if you're in a position to not serve me as my wife. You're not if you throw in the towel, that does not give me the license to do so as well. And I'm speaking just to everybody that wants to be married now. With even if your spouse throws in the towel, that doesn't give you a right to. It doesn't give you a right to give up on a marriage. Doesn't give you a right to leave. Doesn't give you a right to step out. Doesn't give you a right to do any of that type of stuff. Why? Because your commitment is to God first, not them. And this what when you get in front of a crowd of witnesses and you make your vow before the Lord, now it becomes his. So no matter what, until God gives up on you, you can't give up on him. And this is how he's going to bless you through the marriage, not around it. Like he's going to bless you through this. And if this is what you have to deal with, like no like with a spouse that's dealing with something who is like I think a lot of people get into a marriage and they feel or they were told that a marriage serves them. Like, oh, my wife is supposed to do this for me. My husband's supposed to do this for me. Oh, he's supposed to take care of all of my bills. Oh, he's supposed to take care of XYZ. Oh, he's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that. But as soon as he stops serving you in that way, or he's not in a position to serve you in that way, you got attitude. And you feel like it gives you a right to give up on the marriage. That devil is a liar. No, it doesn't. It doesn't give you a right to give up. It doesn't. In our marriage, like my wife was not in a position to be my wife. And that don't mean I get to stop being her husband.
Right.
I gotta love her more. I gotta love her even when I don't get nothing out the deal.
Right.
I don't
Love
get nothing.
me back to health.
I don't get nothing out of the deal, but I have to do that because when I say that I'm gonna love you in sickness and in health, that's what that means.
Right.
That's what that means.
Right.
Don't like stop doing these halfway, commitments, and say it. I'd rather you be honest with yourself, with God, and everybody, and say, look, we're together, but the second that I'm inconvenienced, I'm good. I don't want this anymore. Tell us that at the altar before we,
you
spend
can save
all
us
these
all.
save us all some time.
Some time, some money, some
Right.
energy.
Exactly. We don't care to come to your little kitty commitment stuff. Like this is not a marriage. All right. I think that we should make tiers. There should be tears because everything is just following like, hey, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, this is my, betrothed, whatever. Like, just make sure because there was like back in biblical times, there was a betrothal period, that the people went through, that they were not yet married, but it's just like a step below,
Okay.
So between the engagement,
come on, give us biblical history.
No, well, I mean, sorry, but that's it. It was, and I'm thinking like, hey, we need to bring back some tears. You don't have to call it betrothal, but let's accurately define what you are to each other, because you're not husband and wife. Because the second the thing's gonna get hard, y'all gonna get to throwing around divorce papers or annulment papers or whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to do, saying like, all right, I'm reneging on this. But okay, it was never a marriage. All right. So okay, let's quit playing around with this thing, man, and quit playing around with God, because God ain't in this anyway.
Right.
God ain't in most of, like you say, well, we getting married.
That's
marriage has always been like sanctioned by the church. All right. A marriage is God's thing. You want to create a union or a partnership or what have you. You can do that. But marriage is sanctioned by the church and God. All right. So we call a lot of things marriages, but God's nowhere in it.
Right.
All right.
Ain't nowhere near it.
And again, if you're married and God is not at the center of your relationship, and God is nowhere near your relationship, and you want to throw sticks and stones at me, that is fine. All right. I am too broke to be canceled. So you can do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm just letting you know, just for your information and for your own edification, marriage is sanctioned by the church and God. All right. We've done it so to where the government does is recognizing certain marriages for tax purposes, for other types of benefits and record keeping. However, they are recognizing marriage, but marriage didn't come from the government. Marriage came from the church. So if you're not in the church and you're not nowhere in it, but you say you're married, it's more likened to a union than a marriage. Got it. All right, cool.
Interesting.
That's what it is.
Ooh. You sure enough right. We too broke to get canceled.
We too broke to get canceled.
That little segment right there, babe,
will get us canceled. That's why I did it while we was broke. Now, when we get some money, don't expect this same speech. Don't expect this same speech. All right. When we rolling in the dough, you gonna be like, "Hey, Lee, what was that you said?" Right. I don't remember.
You're so silly.
I don't remember what you said.
What I said. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this, or maybe even a part 3. I don't know. Because we're trying something a little different. We're trying to keep our episodes between 30 to 40 minutes, just to see how that kind of affects our engagement, and just see if that increases watch time, or just, how that affects just our analytics and things like that. And so just let us know in the comments if between 30 and 40 minutes is a good sweet spot, or if you do enjoy our longer form videos, like the hour to almost 2 hours. Let us know that, because we're just trying to experiment and just see what works best for our audience, for our engagement. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up and sign off. Babe, you have anything else you want to add?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, y'all. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to add? I don't think so. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Married or Something podcast, and we will see you in part 2, because we're definitely gonna have to keep talking about things that change you in a marriage, because this was only 2 things.
And how many things did they say?
Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other things we can talk about.
6 other things.
Yep.
All right.
So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.